So if you're on this video, you're as interested in the X-H2s as I am. This won't be like a technical review, but more of a user experience review. I made a video a few weeks ago about owning the X-H2s, and I wasn't going to make a intuitive review unless I owned the camera for, longer than a couple weeks. This is that video. As a hybrid shooter, I focused on video and photo quite a lot. I previously owned the A7 IV, and I didn't really think that the A7 IV was a hybrid camera, I would say. The 33 megapixels was great, but the video specs were lacking a bit. The codecs and bit depth were there, but in terms of 4K 60 and 4K 120 and being a hybrid camera, I think that the A7 IV was more focused towards casual users and not very much enthusiast users, which prompted me to look for another camera. And then the X-H2s got released. The X-H2s basically ticked off every single box that I was looking at. Good megapixels for photos, good video specs, uncropped 4K 60 was a huge thing for me. Grabbing a 35 and getting a 35 focal length for 4K 60 was extremely important for me and actually mattered quite a bit. With the initial release of the X-H2s, I wasn't sure if I was going back to Fuji after literally just leaving Fuji last year. I was a previous owner of the XS10 for photography, mainly photography, and the previous owner of the X-T3, which was my hybrid camera at the time. And back in time, the X-T3 was the only camera with 10-bit and just 10-bit internal, and the video specs were fantastic. So that was just my main camera. I previously owned the A7 III, and the A7 III was lacking quite a bit in the video department, so I decided to pick up the X-T3. So let's talk photography and photo autofocus. The autofocus on the X-H2s for photography and video has been drastically improved in terms of IAF and overall subject detection. Their new AF system now offers subject tracking even when the subject isn't facing the camera. So the X-H2s and the Fuji X system. There has been a lot of talk previously about the autofocus system, and I personally think with the updated autofocus system for photo and video, it is absolutely up to par with the Sony and Canon ecosystem when it comes to autofocus. There is a few things that you do need to tweak based on situation, but that when it comes to autofocus for Sony and Canon, you have to do that as well if you want frame perfect autofocus and you want it to focus on what you want like in the frame. When it comes to the Fuji, I actually found, this is a secret I'm gonna let you guys in on. I actually found that in the settings, if you turn off eye auto and set it to pick a specific eye, I currently have it now tracking this eye right here, which is my left eye. This is like quite literally the best things that you can do for the Fuji autofocus system. If you decide to set it on eye auto, it'll start bouncing around and jumping back and forth between your eyes. I've asked a few creators, I will tag them and put them in the description. Actually, no, I'll just throw up their name right here. I asked a user named I Am Tongue, who is a frequent Fuji shooter, to test this, and he said that it's very, very accurate. If you set it to specifically one eye, whether it be the left or the right eye, if you set it to specifically one eye for photo and video, it just stops all the hunting and all of the confusion, all the pulsing. It just knows which eye to go on to. And if you decide to block said eye that you're focusing on, it'll focus on your other eye, which basically renders eye auto being useless. It's just a useless feature. I'm not sure why that is. So when it comes to video quality, the video quality is a 6.2K basically downsample or oversample, whatever you have it. I'm assuming it's oversample in this situation. The 4K is oversampled from 6.2K. There's 6.2K open gate, which I'm being filmed on right now. 6.2K open gate is spectacular. 6.2 open gate gives me basically all the flexibility of cropping in post and adjusting in post. It's incredibly sharp. I compared it to my Sony A7 IV footage before, and the 6.2 open gate is way sharper than the native 4K that's oversampled from 7K from the A7 IV. Believe it or not, I'm gonna say it. I think that for video specifically, if you would like to have a video-centric camera, I think the X-H2s is the camera to get right now. The X-H2s's video features and codecs, you have ProRes, you have H.265, you have H.264. The other two are available on Sony at limited bit rates or like completely insane bit rates, but ProRes, working with ProRes footage has been incredible. It's incredibly smooth playback. It's It's kind of a bit big on the file size, but the downside is it only records to CF Express cards, which shouldn't be much of a problem. If you're gonna take full advantage of the X-H2s, I recommend that you actually do get a CF Express Type B card. I have a 512 Angel Bird one, and I've tested it. I've maxed it out and it's incredibly reliable. It's the AV Pro SE. It's an incredible deal. You can get 512 gigabytes for just literally $180 before tax, and it's a really good SD card. And then my other SD card is just a X-H2 regular one. It's a V90. I have it in there for photos, and it's just working fantastic right now. So let's talk about F-Log2. Well, I'm gonna just say it flat out. F-Log2 and S-Log3 are basically the same. They're very comparable when it comes to color grading. There's a lot of flexibility, and the base ISO is a bit high for the Fuji at 1250. There's basically no color noise on the X-H2s for photos and video. Believe it or not, I could not find any color noise while video editing and photo editing. So let's talk about the 4K 60, the uncropped, beautiful 4K 60 that is oversampled from 6.2K into a 4K 60. And I think it is incredibly sharp and looks beautiful. A lot of detail retained. There's not too much noise. I usually stay around 1250. And the autofocus, I'm gonna say it. I have not had one autofocus problem on the X-H2s while shooting photos or shooting video for social media and small businesses on paid jobs. I'm gonna let that sink in. I have not had a single problem with the autofocus on the X-H2s since buying it. I know that's a lot, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of Sony haters. I've shot Sony for the majority of my life. I've had the A7 III, I've had the A7S II, I've had the A6400, I've had the A7 IV, and I've had the A6000. I've gone through APS-C to full frame, and the cost equivalency of full frame to APS-C is a little bit there when it comes to Fuji systems. But what you're paying for on the Fuji system compared to the Sony system is completely price different. You pay for, let's say, a $5,000 kit on Sony. You get $2,500 for the A7 IV. I'm listing new prices, by the way. You get $2,500 for the A7 IV and the X-H2s. Full frame lenses go for about an arm and a leg if you want just lenses that are first party. I know Sony's ecosystem when it comes to lenses is really, really wide, and there's Tamron, there's Sigma, there's Viltrox, but Sigma and Tamron and Viltrox have started making third-party lenses, and lens selection for the X-H2s is actually starting to match Sony soon. So these were my overall thoughts of the X-H2s and what it brought to the table. I'm fully swapped over to the Fujifilm ecosystem now. I just sold off my last 28-75 lens. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm gonna leave the rest of the footage to be video content that I've shot so far on the X-H2s. But yeah, please let me know if you guys have comments to ask me or questions, just leave it down below and I'll try to get back to you. Thanks for watching.
Oh my God, I'm losing. Oh my God!
You next to what? Who's next to what?
I'm next to a snowman who's generously spreading his legs.
Wow. Hi.
Hello. Me and Mr. Snowman. I'm gonna shield everybody from seeing his Essie. Don't look at it. Don't look.